Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. We have reached the end of the prequel trilogy with Revenge of the Sith. It's really not that bad once you get to watching it. So, the story is both the Jedi and the Chancellor are basically at war, and Anakin Skywalker is caught in the middle while also finding out that Padme is pregnant after he just rescued the Chancellor, and several things pointing him towards the dark side. First and foremost, something I want to talk about. It's not a positive, not a negative. It's sort of mixed, but I just want to say Anakin Skywalker has been a negative in the last two movies I've done. He's been a negative. In this film, I guess he's a mixed aspect. Because while he does start out with that same cadence that he had in the previous film, Attack of the Clones, as he turns to the dark side, that cadence becomes darker and more evil. More like Darth Vader. More like the Darth Vader that we know. He has that Darth Vader cadence. Yes, Master. Although his kooky plan to overthrow the Emperor, I don't know where that came from, but it doesn't work anyway. Little memory from when I went to see this in the theater. My friend and I were going to see it together, and then he went before I did, because he wanted to see it right away. I was in high school. I wasn't able to do that because I didn't have any money. So once I got money, I went to see it, and we were supposed to go see it together, and he said no, he already saw it, he didn't want to see it again. So I went by myself. Theater here in town, and I remember the part after Mace Windu was killed because of Anakin. Well, Anakin stops him from killing Palpatine. Palpatine throws him out the window, and he becomes Darth Vader. He says, Anakin kneels down, and Palpatine stands over him, and he says, henceforth, you should be known as Darth Vader. And I remember there was a couple people, at least I heard one person who was close to me say that. I don't know if anyone else did, but it was just kind of cool to Vader. I heard, and I was like, just a little theater experience that I remember. I remember my friend, I told him not to tell me any spoilers about anything that happens. The one thing I was confused about is what happens to Mace Windu, because Samuel L. Jackson and all that. And he comes up to me one day and he goes, I know how Mace Windu dies. I'm like, he dies? And my friend's like, whoops. Well, I just want to know what happened. I was worried about what happened to him, not, I didn't want to know he died. Because you gotta have the whole, these people aren't in future movies. So every Jedi dies, except for, which, he kind of knew, but I don't know. They could have had older, now they're doing the sequel trilogies, they could have had Mace Windu as an old man show up. He'd be dead by now anyway, even though. So, now I tell that little story and everything, let's get to the good. The good, once again, the cinematography, the size, the scale, the scope of what we see is great. George Lucas knows how to do that. And it's wonderful. You got it's all overlooking, and you see like in the Mustafar, you see the lava moving, you see the Coruscant, all that. The fight at the beginning, spectacular. I remember sitting there and just be like, seeing it on a big screen. This is one I can actually tell you what it looked like on a big screen, because I sort of remember. It's just like, and here's the thing I should point out right here, right now, is some people would be confused of where the last one ended and where this one picks up. All of a sudden, the Chancellor's kidnapped. They're on their way to save him. That's because Cartoon Network released a micro series of mini cartoons before episode 3 was set to come out, that connected the dots between episode 2 and episode 3. It showed sort of how Anakin got the scar. I don't remember what specifically it showed. And it showed everything that happened, and it ended with them taking Palpatine. So sets up perfectly for this. So yeah, go check that out if you want. If you've never seen that before, you want some connectivity, and you finally can go, oh, okay, I understand. There you go. So, well, we're still on positive. So, yeah. And like I said, that Anakin himself is mixed. Because, to me, he's a bit of a whiner. Like, when Padme goes to confront him on Mustafar, and he sees that Obi-Wan is there. He's just like, They didn't know how they were going to do this, and they should have waited till they got it perfect. Because it's like, Vader is not a whiner. But I do see some of Vader going through, like I said. Another good thing in this is Ewan McGregor, once again, good as Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan gets to do a lot more than just walk around and talk to people like he did in the last one. He kills General Grievous, who's this character who was introduced in the Clone Wars TV series, micro series, and he, takes him out. Yes, the micro series actually also shows how he's got that breathing problem. Grievous does. Takes him out, and he has this connection with the clones. We'll get to that, and his fight with Anakin, it's like a father fighting his son, basically. And it's heartbreaking for him to have to deal with the fact that he has to put his son down because his son is now evil. And like I said, that fight is great. Padme, better in this than she was in the last one, I'll tell you that much. So, yes, she can be a positive. She's not in this as much as she was in the last one, which is already a positive because she was all over the place. She pops up here and there. She pops up when they get back saying she's pregnant. And pops up here and there throughout the film just to keep it going. The whole reason, well, we'll get to that in the negatives, actually. But, yeah. She's the whole reason why Anakin turns to the dark side, basically. But she is better in this. And for the first time in the reviews, this is only a third review, but Palpatine is going to be a positive. I kind of had meh feelings about him in the first two. He was quietly, moving things around. And Jar Jar, I didn't talk about this in the last one, but that's one of the reasons why people hate Jar Jar. It's Jar Jar's fault that the Empire won. Yeah, but he didn't have a choice. He was forced to do it. You gotta realize that. He was forced to give emergency powers to the Chancellor. He had no choice. And Jar Jar's not in this one. At least not as I can tell, not really. But Palpatine has slowly tried to manipulate his way into power. The first two. This one, he is in power, and you can tell that his dark plan is coming to fruition, and he's manipulating Anakin. And that scene in the theater, Anakin, Palpatine talking there, the story he tells about Darth Sidious, or Darth Plagueis the Wise, and the story where, you know, Darth Plagueis had the ability to prolong life, and he taught his apprentice, and his apprentice killed Plagueis. And I don't know if you ever got this or not. I've always figured this was the thing, that Darth Plagueis was Master Sifo-Dyas from. In the second film, they say that Master Sifo-Dyas, Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas, was the one who set up the clone army. All right, and they said that Master Sifo-Dyas has been dead for some time. So this clone army, though, secretly been working for Palpatine when he issues Order 66. How would that work unless Master Sifo-Dyas was secretly Darth Plagueis the Wise, and he taught Palpatine, his apprentice, everything that he knew, and then Palpatine killed him? I know Star Wars, hardcore Star Wars fans like myself would probably have picked up on that, but I just thought I'd lay it out there for you guys. And yeah. And like I said, Order 66. I remember sitting in the theater and they execute Order 66. I'm just like, what? And then they shoot at Obi-Wan and knock him down after they were just like shaking hands and stuff. Kill all the Jedi except for Yoda and Obi-Wan, of course, because they're the only ones that gotta survive. And they say any other surviving Jedi, but I don't think there's any other surviving Jedi. Except for if you go for the expanded universe, but they said, don't count Clone Wars. But I don't count Rebels either. I'm going to count the movie universe as canon, okay? All the extra stuff, the Disney Plus, Mandalorian, whatever, I'm only counting the movie series as canon to the movie stuff. Okay, I know maybe it's mean, but to me, you know, I'm not probably going to watch that stuff. I'm not keen to, I'm not really into all the TV shows. I do have the first 2 seasons of Star Wars Rebels, I guess. And I thought the Clone Wars was okay, but I never liked the fact that they gave Anakin a Padawan. He shouldn't have one. He never had one. And they're just trying to expand it more. It doesn't make any sense. And I know that Rebels follows Clone Wars because Ahsoka is in that as well. But moving on now. Any other positives before I move on? I already mentioned the final fight scene. Let's just go to the negatives. And for me, negative is, one of the biggest negatives is the way that Anakin's portrayed, in a way. And that's as a big fucking baby. Alright? He is manipulated by Palpatine. He has these dreams, these visions that was established since the first one, when he said he had a dream of coming back and freeing the slaves, and then he had a dream of his mom, and then he had this. But for all we know, Palpatine was putting those dreams in his head. The way he described what Darth Plagueis could do, I think that Palpatine was putting the dreams in Anakin's head, so he would get paranoid about that, and he would be forced to work with Palpatine. Palpatine would have something over Anakin. Because Padme does die. Spoiler alert, you haven't seen this. Padme does die in childbirth because she has no will to live. I know that's a stupid way. But I don't know. While we're on that subject, the way the birth goes down is just... No. She's going to give birth. She gives birth, and they say it's going to be babies. 2 of them, twins. She gives birth to the first kid. They say it's a boy. Right away, she says Luke. Then she's like, oh, Luke. And then she gives birth to the girl. They say it's a girl. She says Leia. And she dies. Where did she come up with these names? It would be fine if they had mentioned something. Like, if it's a girl, I would like it to be Luke. If it's a girl, I like Leia. Well, if it's a boy, I would like it to be Luke. If they kind of mentioned that earlier, that would be fine. But they don't. So her pulling those names out of her ass before she's about to die doesn't make any sense. I'm just saying. So, this negative is me. I'm a negative. Because, and this goes back to when I first watched it in the theaters. I'm a negative, I'm a dumbass, because I'm sitting there, and they fight. And after, I have the high ground, and then falls down, gets burnt up by the lava. I'm like, wait. Why is he getting all burnt up for? That's not how Darth Vader is supposed to be. And then they put him in the suit. My dumbass forgot that he was in the suit so he can live. They never specifically said how or what happened to make him have to be in the suit. And once I realized that, I'm like, oh yeah, the suit's so he can live. Okay, you're a dumbass. Just thought I'd put that little trivia out for you. I'm a dumbass when it comes to that. And anyway, like I said, I like this one way better than... But, and while it is my favorite of the trilogy, I have to give it a 7. Because, while it's my favorite, and it's more serious and I don't enjoy it as much as the wackiness of Phantom Menace. When I do my ranking, will this be ahead of Phantom Menace? Yes. Because I do like it more. But my enjoyment is... See, the ranking is how I like them. The rating is how I enjoy them. There's a difference. So if you watch some of my rankings and wait a minute, he rated that one higher than the other one, it's because I rate by enjoyment, I rank by how I like them. There's a difference. Trust me, there is. So 7 out of 10 for Revenge of the Sith. What are your thoughts on Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And may the Force be with you.